Hello everyone, it's Brave here again. Welcome to my channel. I just wanted to say my prayers go out to all the victims and the relatives of the victims that were killed sadly in the 9/11 attacks many years ago. I do remember where I was when it happened. I was at home with my family. We were watching the TV in London, and then suddenly this film we were watching was interrupted, which was very unusual. We don't usually have breaking news stories interrupting, films. I can't remember what film it was, but and we were kind of like, what's this? Why is the film stopped? It wasn't a video or a DVD. It was like the actual news broadcasters like interrupted it, and then they said, they didn't know what it was at the time. When we were shown the footage, we just saw a plane hit a building, and the first thing I thought was, that looks deliberate. And I asked my family, I said, did that look deliberate? That didn't look like an accident. And then we started to question, how did the plane get into the airspace of over New York? Like, isn't that a closed airspace? Shouldn't they only be near the airport? Like, what's going on? Has a airplane lost control? And but it just looked deliberate. It looked like the plane, wasn't avoiding the buildings, which is obvious now. We know why, sadly. But I remember. I think it was I can't remember. I think it was a weekend. I think it was a Sunday. I have to obviously look up. I'm sorry I didn't look that up before to mention it here. But yeah, the actual either it was like I was off work or off college, whatever I was doing, I was off. I was had the day off because I remember. That's why I thought it might have been a Sunday because I was off, but then it could have been another day and I just was didn't go in for whatever reason to my work or college or whatever. And I just remember we were like, wow, that is horrible, that's terrible. If it is an accident, that's terrible, but if it's deliberate, why was that happening? Who did this? Why? you know so then when we went out to the shops to get food and stuff, food shopping, and everyone on the bus was just staring at each other like wanting to talk about it. And people don't normally talk to each other that much in London unless you know someone or you're super friendly and you might nod to people or say hello, good morning. But it's very rare in such a big city full of grumpy, miserable, dangerous people. It's safer to just not even look at people, because sometimes you can look at someone and they are so crazy. They're like, what are you looking at? And they want to stab you, if they're crazy. Um, so yeah, so I remember I was on the bus and everyone just kept looking at each other in a sort of like wanting to talk about it way, and I could just sense that was the reason they were looking at each other, because I'm an empath and I have psychic gifts. It was like I could feel their thoughts. It was like everyone was anxious and confused and wanting to say. So then someone finally sort of said, literally to the whole bus, did anyone see that plane hit that building in America? And we were like, yeah, what was that about? And we all just started talking, like the whole bus, which is so rare, like I said, just started talking to each other like, yeah, I couldn't believe it. It looked deliberate, right? And it was like, yeah, like what is happening? Like, and they were like, oh no, I just hope there's no more. Like, and then we didn't know until the news told more stories that there were other planes hitting other locations, all connected, so that was, yeah, very, very sad. Um, yeah, very, very sad to remember it. Just, oh, I couldn't even watch any footage again. Like, after seeing, like, I can remember it vividly, very clearly, the images of the buildings collapsing, and oh, just knowing that people were suffering and couldn't escape, and just awful. Just my heart broke for all the victims and all their families, and to know they weren't gonna be able to like find all their relatives' bodies and things like that and have a proper burial or cremation, or it was just heartbreaking to me, and that still bothers me, that event, as of course it would bother everyone, to know so much unfairness and suffering. And evil that happened that day. It's very upsetting. But you know, I know for a fact that when we die, you know, whether we die in a horrible way or a peaceful way, our souls do, you know, go to the spirit world where all those people, they are not in pain, they're not suffering, they are safe and sound in the spirit world with God, angels, and Jesus. And I know that for a fact. I have psychic gifts. I've been shown these things. You know, lots of people I know have had near-death experiences, and they've confirmed things that I never told them. And I'm like, wow, they've definitely gone to the spirit world when they had their near-death experience, because they're saying things that I was shown and I never told them that, you know. And there's so many people around the world who have had near-death experiences who had who had been saying the similar things, is what I wanted to say. Like, I remember, you know, even my friend in New Zealand, the story she told me about her near-death experience matched someone in America who we'd never met, you know, who we just saw their video on YouTube talking about their experience, you know. So yeah, I just wanted to just acknowledge the day that, you know, I'd been thinking about it all day, and I wasn't sure if I should mention it or not, because it's a sad thing. And but I thought, well, no, acknowledge the day and try and give the message that, you know, all those people who sadly their lives were taken that day, they are safe and sound. Their soul, their spirit is in the spirit world, and you will see them again. So our souls are eternal, are infinite, you know. Even though our body dies in this world, you know, we when we die, we will see our family again in the spirit world. So I know it's hard, and I know the grief we feel here for the people we lose, especially losing them in such an awful way as that day. It is tough, it is very painful, but you know, our family members, our loved ones, our ancestors, they don't want us to cut our journey short for the grief we feel down here for their loss. They want us to keep going. They want us to live well. They want us to learn our lessons, and so that when we pass away from this world, it's like stepping into another room. You know, our souls don't die. Our body dies here, but our soul will go back home to our true home, where we came from in the first place, because we came from the spirit world to this place, because we are energetic spiritual beings put in these human vessels to be born and incarnated into this life in order to learn harsh, difficult lessons, so that when we go back home, it helps us evolve and ascend our souls, you know. So yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge that day, how awful it was, and just how much, you know, England was very much with America that day, very, very, you know, giving its hugest condolences. We all were so shocked and so sad for the loss and the pain. And so, yeah, we just wanted to, well, me as a Londoner, I just wanted to acknowledge that we you know, we want, yeah, just we just, oh, it is just such a horrible day. I don't, you know, I can't even really think about it too much, you know, because it's just so awful, you know. It was one of the most shocking things to see, and there's been a lot of terrible, shocking things that have happened throughout history, you know. And even when I think of those things, like the Holocaust or World War One and Two, or you know, other massacres and genocides and other things that have happened across the world, across time, in ancient history even, like, I'm so sensitive to negative energies and negative events that it really hurts my heart. Like, but yeah, that's all for now. I wish everyone around the world peace and protection, and strength. You know, please pray for strength and ask God and his angels to be with you and give you the strength to carry on and fulfill your mission, to learn your lessons here in the earth plane. And I just want you to know that your loved ones are safe, and you will see them again, and they are not in pain, and they are not in that they're not in that time where that terrible thing happened to them. They have, they are so far removed from that terrible moment. Okay, but I'm gonna start crying if I don't stop talking. Okay, but God bless everyone. God bless this whole world, and that's all. Bye for now.